I don't care. I'm not doing an intro for this podcast. If you like it, you like it.
We're rebelling. We're rebelling.
Welcome back to episode 4 of the Hook Podcast. I'm DG the artist.
I'm Risk.
It's the vibe.
And today we wanted to do something like really, really different.
Crazy.
We always get into like some really philosophical stuff when we're talking, and like
Deep conversations with the boys and the girls.
the boys and the friends.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to like just dive real deep into like who we are, what we believe in.
What do we dive into when we're actually having real conversations
Do
with
you believe in
ourselves?
God?
Exactly.
Let's
get into it. So before we get into the main topic for today, we did want to answer a Q&A question that we particularly liked from the past episode. And this one comes from at Goodman's Health on YouTube. Let's go.
Mark.
So the question is,
My guy.
how high would any of you go for a Travis Scott feature? And so
Mark.
I'm very curious about this one. If you missed the last episode, we were discussing this, paying for features concept. I need to think about this because Travis Scott's my favorite artist. So this is the hardest question for
Like
me,
how
I
much
think.
I would pay?
Yeah, how much
I
would-
don't have enough in my bank account for what he would want.
Hypothetically.
But let's say right now that, Travis reaches out to you and says, I'll do a feature for this much money. What's the highest amount of money that he could say where you would say, all right, I'll make it work?
And I'm not backed by anything.
Backed by anything?
Yeah,
like
it's
no
like
label?
me and
It's
my
you.
money.
Do I own the
what
whole song
whatever you have?
afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
good
it's your
question. He lets you have ownership?
It's your track.
Whoa.
You just have to pay him
a bajillion dollars.
however much.
Okay, I think literally the
Yeah.
highest I would go for track, because with my music,
Well,
I don't know
that's
if
the
that
other
would
thing
make
too, right?
sense.
Because it does. Yeah, for your music,
although it'd be
it would be vibey.
It'd be
no,
funny.
it would be
because
dope.
they put Julia Wolf on
On
A
the
Drake song.
on the Drake song.
And also like Travis and SZA go together really well.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you do like some R&B stuff,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that could work. It could work. A Travis feature, if he gives you a good feature, it could be like a really good song.
rather than like woo.
Yeah. See, it would suck if you pay the money and then he just sends like four bars
Couple
and then
ad-libs,
like it's
actually.
lit. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess it also depends on the work.
Yeah, let's say you're guaranteed 16 bars
Okay.
on the song of your choice. And you're guaranteed some level of quality. I don't know
I
what
think for
that
me,
is, but
50K would work.
50K.
I'd go 50K. I think you could.
50K.
It's fair that you could make that back with it being a Travis
with
Scott.
one song though.
Yeah, just off streams and
Maybe
like
it
the
would
pushing
propulse,
power. Yeah,
yeah.
the pushing power of that. It would lead into streams for other songs. It
Yeah.
would grow the brand value
Yeah.
a bunch. That's something that you can have on your backlog and resume moving
Do you
forward.
think anybody would believe that you actually got Travis?
They might just think it's AI.
Yeah.
But
if
I
you
don't
don't
know.
get sued, okay. If it's a song with 16 bars, good quality, I get to keep it, and and it shows up on his Spotify.
Oh, so it's like a collaboration.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
then,
just,
well, then he would charge at least like if it's showing up.
Well,
on
I'm not worried
his-
about what he would charge. I'm worried
Yeah,
about
what you would pay. Okay.
Because you could say he would charge $1 million or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're not going to spend.
If it
$1 million.
shows up on his page,
I'm
willing to go up to 116.
$116,000.
Yes.
Why 116?
That's
You wouldn't do $116,500?
I mean, no. My personal max.
$116 and $1.
My personal max is that for whatever intuitive reason,
Yeah.
but that general range
Feels right.
Okay.
Because I think that the value that you get from having the tens of millions of listeners that
Yeah.
are interacting with his stuff, you would be in algorithm
agree.
with his songs if you own the song completely. Like even if you don't make back
That's a
that
lot of
amount
money.
of money off streams, I
Yeah.
think the brand value that you get, that you can build on, is worth that.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a lot of money though.
It's crazy. I think that's too high, and I'm a huge Travis Scott fan. But
You don't
'cause
think
I
it's worth that?
I don't
I mean,
think
at
at
the max
our
value.
level.
Okay.
I don't think so as smaller artists, because there's a certain thing that happens when you get this insane amount of attention on you, where after that you fall off a significant amount for your next song. And when the momentum that you have isn't upward, then even the fans who are around might not really be vibing with you as much.
Right.
You know, like there's a thing
Right.
where like people love to root for the underground artists, or like, you know, somebody who's got like some devoted fan base, but like, you know, nothing crazy yet. And if you're progressively getting fewer streams per song because the Travis fans are going away because they're not
Yeah.
true fans of your music,
Right. They just like Travis.
then yeah, you know, like, so I'm not sure if the value is actually
I think
at that level.
I think that's failure to capitalize on the opportunity. Because I think if
Whoa.
you
So
fall
you're
off
saying-
from there, it's because you don't have the systems in your business and the brand and the
Okay.
and the output
but
there
that's
to make use
easy
of
to
it.
not have
And the
at our
prob-
level.
yeah,
Well,
and
then
the problem
why
is-
don't spend 116,000 if
Well,
you don't
yeah,
have
I
that, right?
agree.
I don't
I
even
agree.
have close to that much
I'm saying
money.
at max value of what could be like generated from that circumstance.
Yeah. Word.
If I'm and my team are on 100, if I'm on his
Okay.
page and I have full
Yeah.
ownership,
Yeah.
like I think it would be worth it at that level if
Yeah.
we're juicing as much value from the circumstances
How
possible.
much would you pay to be on a Kai Cenat stream?
Ooh,
That's a good question. How long?
yeah, that's
Like you're invited to his house.
For an entire stream?
Yeah.
I think that would change. Yeah, that could change your life completely.
'Cause-
I think
yeah.
you get clipped like crazy.
Right.
that's
Especially if
good
you're
too,
interested
because
enough.
it's not, because that actually propels your growth.
yeah.
Yeah.
I almost
More
think
so
it's
than, like-
worth more than a.
Yeah,
than a
It might be
feature.
worth more. Yeah,
But I
yeah.
also think that would be worth more than 100K. Because Kai Cenat's
Yeah.
easily making six
Well,
figures
yeah,
a stream.
he's got
easily.
fucking
Yeah.
like
6 figures, like mid maybe.
he's got
Maybe
Drewski
more.
on there. He's got industry names.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
so
but going back
spooky
to
thinking
Travis,
about
like,
money.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like for me personally, and I love Travis Scott, but I don't know, like 100,000 is crazy. I feel like even 50,000 is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, like for what it would do for me as an artist, like I'm not sure if it even
30.
30
Like, do you think you would make that back, 30K back in streams?
in streams. I mean, streams don't pay a lot.
They don't pay
And it's not like,
anything.
and keep in mind, you know, Travis Scott has songs that get 1 billion streams, but a random feature he doesn't get 1
Yeah.
billion streams.
Like, let's say you
You
get,
get a couple million.
dude. Actually,
So-
100K is wild. I don't no, now that I think about
Yeah.
it more, that is actually crazy.
Okay,
no.
I'm glad. I'm
Okay.
glad.
I do understand it though. Like it's crazy,
Hmm.
but it's like it just kind of shows that for someone who's that established, you're willing to invest into something that you can then snowball.
Yeah.
Mm.
The question is just, does the snowball shrink or
Yeah,
does it
yeah,
actually
yeah,
keep
yeah.
growing? And
Yeah.
like one thing, this would be a good case study, I think. There's this guy, I think Lil Blessin is his name
Okay.
or something.
My cousin, right?
Your cousin. No, he had a song that got a Travis Scott feature, and like who else was on it? I think it was Travis Scott, Bia, and like G Herbo or something. I don't
Okay.
know. It was like a really stacked feature list.
Okay.
And it was the first time I heard of him was
Yeah.
that song because it had Travis on it. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm curious about this. And like I haven't seen that guy show up in my algorithm at all since then or anything. I haven't
Yeah.
heard anything about him. So I mean, this is no hate to that person, but I think it would be really interesting to see what actually happens to his career
Yeah.
because he's a smaller, less established artist who got a Travis Scott feature early on.
However,
Yeah.
it is interesting to me how many people go viral that then just get lost in the algorithm, and then I'll stumble upon them again. And I'll be like, "You're doing great still. I just don't know about you because everyone is
'cause there's so
becoming
much going
viral."
on, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Also possible. I mean, it's very possible to have like some small devoted fan base from
Yeah,
it.
just because you
I
don't
think-
turn into like Billie Eilish or
Yeah. I guess I would want to, for me, my main goal right now is to be like a name in the DC area. You know?
Right.
I want to be able to do regular shows in this area
Yeah.
without having to go super far around the world to perform or anything. Like I would like to just do regular shows here.
humble.
That's the goal. So if I could parlay a Travis Scott feature into that,
Oh wow.
then that's worth anything.
Wow.
That's worth 50K because then I can make 50K a year doing music.
I would pay
know,
more for like content stuff like Kai Cenat, like
Mm-hmm.
other content creators. I would pay more to have them than I think I would with music, because to me music is so personal and so my own.
Yeah.
I don't personally see myself using other people as a way to putting other people in my music specifically as a way to grow my career.
Sure.
Unless
yeah.
it's like collaborators that I'm just like, I think you're so cool and I love your music and it fits so well with what I do.
You should collaborate with DG the artist. That would be. I think that would be great.
Oh, local DC legend?
Yeah,
DG
that
the
one.
artist?
That one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would be more willing to invest in like other content creators
Mm-hmm.
or really good videographers, you know, like stuff like that than I would in the music
I think that's
side
a
of things.
great point over. I
10K.
think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
10K.
10K?
10K.
Yeah, I think
Travis Scott.
I
hit me up.
think the value of a feature is like diminished so rapidly
I really
over
think
the
so.
last
It's
couple
one
years.
song. You know,
Yeah.
it's just one song.
The more
You've
Travis Scott,
changed.
you're losing the sale. Listen, you guys had me. You should have closed the deal, buddy. You should have closed the deal.
That's
I'm
crazy.
out. I'm tapping out.
yeah, it's like Shark Tank.
Yeah,
Or like-
yeah. I'm out.
Story
Yeah, Travis,
arc
I'll
is
give you 10,000 for
You
one
had me,
feature.
Travis. You had me, but you
Yeah.
just couldn't take me all the way.
Yeah,
You know?
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think 10K is a worthwhile investment to get a huge name on one of
Okay.
my songs.
Yeah.
I don't think going higher than that is necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think above that level, it probably would still help me,
Mm-hmm.
but I could probably just invest that differently and
Yeah.
do better
Exactly.
with it.
Great point.
So,
Exactly.
Great point.
Exactly.
Travis Scott, hit me up if you want 10K.
Travis Scott, I never want to work with you again. I'm putting my foot down.
Again.
I'm never putting my foot down. You had a chance, and you ruined it.
Thanks for
Have
the
a
question. If you have any questions that you'd like us to answer in the next episode, please leave them in the comments. They can be about soup. They can be about sandwiches.
Please make them about soup.
They can be about.
I have
I
so
don't
many
really
things
like
to
soup.
answer.
They could be about
soup.
animals. They could be about
Your favorite type of carpets? Shag.
whatever you got. But yeah, we wanted to also talk in this episode about. We want to try something new. Really.
Yeah.
And so let us know what you think about this in the comments, because this is not really music. We're going to talk about music a little bit because we're music
can't help
people.
it.
Like, we just couldn't shake this before the podcast that we wanted to talk about religion.
Light topic.
And so we're like, little disclaimer here. We're three goofy people on a couch.
Indeed.
We don't know anything.
I do know
So-
a lot of things.
I know about how to make pasta,
What?
but only like one type.
What does that have to do with religion?
If you
Well-
want to know what type of pasta DG the artist likes to
Recipe
make,
links
leave it in the
below.
comments
Leave a
below.
question
Because
for us.
honestly, I'm really curious.
That'd be
I
great.
didn't know he had a chef in him.
I don't. I make
For
one type of pasta.
But
he
it
does.
One
hits.
pasta.
The
It
Remy
hits.
comes out
It goes crazy.
for the one
Linguine.
pasta.
But
Angel hair. Continue.
But yeah, no. I mean, we don't know what we're talking about. We want to express our experiences, our opinions, our lives that we live, and how that affects us and how that affects what we create. So
Yeah.
I think one of the main reasons we wanted to get into the whole like religion topic is probably because of something that you actually brought up last episode.
Yeah.
Which was like your more religious upging.
Yeah.
And I think that could be
extremely.
interesting. So I don't know. You want to just?
Well,
I'll just give you the floor.
Because for me, and I'm glad you. Thank you for cueing me in here. Now you guys
Yup.
can just get cozy because I'm really gonna. Okay, children, settle in.
Talk
settle
to
in.
us.
No, okay. So for me, the shift in the energy is also so palpable.
We're ready.
No, I was raised extremely religious. Both of my parents actually went to seminary school. That's how they met.
Oh wow.
Seminary
So
school is.
That's where they go to like either become pastors or to just like learn only. It's like master's school for the Bible.
Gotcha.
You know.
This is Christian specifically, or
Christian
like one denomination
specifically.
of Christianity, or
No, in fact, they became so. It got a little culty, and they're never gonna see this, so I can be a little bit more honest about how it actually felt. But it got a little bit interesting in the way that I was actually brought up with a bunch of different denominations and beliefs because we kept jumping from church to church. Since my parents were always like, they're not explaining it correctly, like we know better.
oh, interesting, because they studied
Yeah,
it so
because they
much
studied it, yeah.
that
They know the right way.
they know
so
what's right.
often we would go to a church and maybe be there for like half a year. Sometimes we would be at a church and we would only go once, and then like the entire car ride home, my mom would be like, I can't believe that they interpreted it this way, and like this is so like almost getting into being like these people are like perverse for the way that they are
Right.
thinking about this. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I was also homeschooled.
Like, when they were going, what was the purpose? Like, was it to learn or to why
seminary
were they,
school?
No, to the churches.
Oh,
if they already knew these.
There's
things.
a big thing in religion, and specifically Christianity, that is all about having fellowship and being in community to keep you on the right track and have like brotherhood and whatever. But also my parents, I think it's undiagnosed neurodivergence, but my parents are not very good at keeping friends. So like every time that we went, they would just be like, we don't want to be friends with these people. Like, why are we here? You know? So then like they tried, like, trust me, there was a lot of years of trying, and they probably had some friends along the way, but very much my family was always like family unit and then everybody else. You know, like that's how my parents kind of raised us, to be like the only people that you can ever trust and know and love in life is your family.
Right. Gotcha.
And then like eventually you'll go on to have your own family, and then that'll be your family unit. And anyway, so there's a lot of like religious shame, a lot of religious trauma that finds its way into like everything that I do, and it's always very top of mind, even though I've since like deconstructed. I don't call myself a Christian anymore.
What do you call yourself?
Vaguely spiritual.
Okay.
Like I'm probably agnostic, because I think it's almost like the music side. Like it's so deeply rooted in my soul and my psyche to have something that is more powerful than me. So I'm not atheist. I didn't really go to like that side. And
so
also
agnostic. So I feel like agnostic has a few definitions. Like, would you say that for you it means you don't know if there's a God, or that you are pretty sure there's not, but you can't be certain, or like, you know, how do you, what does that really mean for you, I guess?
It means I think that something powerful exists.
Okay.
But I think that there's power in the universe. I think there's power in the earth.
Okay.
I think there's scientific power. All of these like forces come together to me to make something bigger than myself that I feel like I don't necessarily trust in that like there's like an afterlife and that it's gonna mean something religious in my life. Like I don't pray to it or anything like that, but there's just, I also am a very lucky person. Like I do feel like I'm blessed, and I don't know what that comes from, because I know other people who are very much not like that, and they don't get as many like lucky strikes as I do, or you know, just like things working out in a certain way. And so I'm like, okay, so then maybe that's karma, maybe that's this. Like, you know, I kind of am like a lot of concepts from different religions. I'm like, could be. Could be. So I don't know what it is. I don't not think that a God exists, but it just is strange in my mind that there would be a God, considering everything that happens in life.
I see.
So it's a kind of cognitive dissonance for me.
I agree on that specifically, because for me, I think I'm intellectually atheist. I'm experientially spiritual.
Ooh, that's dope.
I like that.
Yeah, meaning in my personal experience, you can't know God mentally. It's like whatever the capacity for God is so far beyond the human capacity to intellectualize it that there's no, like, for me, if you say I know God exists, that's like so like it like deep by wiring goes back, 'cause like it just doesn't, you can't, it's so beyond what can be known that I believe from my personal experience you can only experience God.
Okay.
And so
it's not a thing you can have knowledge about, but you could
probably
feel strongly.
You can definitely have some like reductionist approach, but to say I know God like in totality through the mind, I think that's like like that logic to begin
a lot
with
of religions actually echo that, and that's where you get faith.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you have to just put your faith in the fact that God exists. And that's almost like a fail-safe that they put in religion.
Yeah, that's
to be like, when you doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And you're just not believing
and
hard
there's
enough.
so, exactly. There's so much danger in that to begin with.
Hugely. The thing that really tore me away from religion personally was, I had a couple of friends who were different religions and believed it so strongly. And I was like, oh, okay, you are just as convinced as I am, and you're not, because a lot of like Southern Baptist spaces, they'll be like, these people are led astray, they're being you know, gone down this path, and it's very sad and they're leading very sad lives. And I would see these people who are like Muslim or something. And it's like, you have such a rich and beautiful understanding of God. Who am I to say that your
that
version
it's like wrong or something?
Yeah.
Huh? That doesn't make any sense to me. So that was one. And then the other side was what you were just saying, which is the like, a lot of people who needed religion were at like the lowest part of their life before they found God. And so now they're kind of not, to put in a very crass way, like they're using religion as a crutch to help them in their life. But I see so many different religious leaders like going into that and being very predatory in the way that they find Christians.
Yeah, it's so easy to take advantage of, because this is like at the core of who we are. This like is directly connected to our deepest fears of death.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really easy for people to have distorted views on this, and to and their perception of it to be completely skewed because of that fear. And the moment there's someone who can like has the answer or can make you feel safe, we want to run to that. It's easy and it'll make us feel better.
It's a sense of control.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a question about like your religious upbringing, because you say you like deconstructed and stopped believing in it. I know some people will say like, you know, they never really believed in it. They were just raised a certain way. But do you feel like looking back that you really did have like a deep belief in it, and then you like it really felt real? Like it wasn't like you were just a kid who didn't know.
I mean, because from a very young age, I've been a very like the way that my parents describe me is like I came out of the womb being like, okay, let's go, like scarily aware.
Of what? Like, what do you mean?
No, like, just like as when I was born, after they like, you know, literally
out the womb.
No, literally. Did you see that TikTok, the couple like half a year ago or something, of the very aware baby going like, the parents were like, do you want to go? Who wants to go to Disneyland? Whatever. And he was like, I do.
No.
I haven't seen that.
Okay, wait. I need to show this to you guys.
But that's like you.
But this sounds so self-congratulatory, but the way that my mom tells the story is like she's literally like being sewn up after birth. My dad is holding me. They put like a little cap on my little bald head. And my dad holds me up, and my mom just looks up and she bursts out laughing, and she says she's never done that for any other baby. Because the way that I was looking at her was like, I don't know how to talk yet, but I'm gonna be trouble, so just get ready. Like I had this mischievous awareness. And she was like freaked out. She was like, you shouldn't look that aware already. You should look a little out of it and dumb like a baby.
Right. Yeah.
But when I was growing
So this led into
this led into like when I was really young, I just had this like at a very young age I started thinking about death and started like conceptualizing what forever means.
Same actually. That's so relatable.
Was like, oh, heaven, that's a long time. But okay, like that, and I really believed it. And I had moments. Again, I've always had this like I've had like blessings in my life. So when those things would happen, I would be like, oh yeah, okay, so God exists. Like
it's God doing it.
I would literally have moments where I would pray for something to happen, and then it would happen.
Sure.
So I was like, A plus B equals. There you go. Right. I've since like learned about manifestation and I don't know, karma, or you know, all these various different beliefs where I'm like, they all make sense towards the same area of being rewarded by something, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is, but interestingly, the moments that confirmed, and I think I talked about this on the last podcast, was the moments that really confirmed that religiosity for me, that presence of God, was music. Because that just gets like every chemical in my body going into like
music is your like that's your bread and butter. That's always been.
Where I'm like, God must exist if things like this can make me feel like this.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's really cool.
And the longest church that we stayed at was a predominantly black church, which the music was just. And like often I would have the radio on and my headphones on from like a very young age. My little Walkman, you know, portable.
Walkman?
Yeah, a little portable radio.
That was before our time, though.
Again, my
yeah, aunt.
I wasn't. We were pretty we didn't have a lot of money, and a lot of the things that I was given as a child was hand-me-downs.
Gotcha.
So I have like
okay,
a lot
yeah.
of 80s
That's
tech,
cool.
a lot of 90s tech.
That's really
growing
cool.
up.
I
Yeah.
also grew up with a lot of old tech, but my parents are just older, so they
Yeah,
just
same.
didn't have the up-to-date
As well,
stuff.
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Music has, and then since then, I've used music as when I was going through the whole deconstruction and the sudden existential crisis of my whole life doesn't have the solid ground of believing that I will go somewhere after death and my loved ones will go somewhere after death. And there's order to the madness and there's someone to look up to that has a plan. All of that stripped away in the matter of like half a year for me.
Yeah.
Wow. Was there any key figure that did that for you? Like, were there
No.
books you were reading or people you were talking to, or was it just really
it was
self-reflection?
Just more self-reflection and just like a culmination of different things that were anti-religious. Like, I'm queer, so
Sure.
that was an immediate kind of like dissonance with the whole organized religion sort of thing, and then the meeting other people of different religions, and then the seeing like how much my parents were using it as an emotional regulator rather than, I don't know, something more solid.
Yeah, like a practice in life. It was more so like a coping mechanism.
Yeah, you
rather
start
than
to
that,
see
yeah.
it as a coping mechanism, and you're like, so then how valid is this whole thing?
Right.
Yeah.
But after that, I turned to music very hardcore. Because before then, I'd always been singing. I'd always been humming around. I just loved the act of singing. I don't shut up. Yeah.
Shape-shifting.
Whenever we're setting up the podcast, she is always humming around. This is true.
I'm a vacuum. Just yeah, and so, but after that, that's when I really got into like lyricism, and like that was my outlet, and that was my coping mechanism. I don't know. What about you guys in terms of religion?
Yeah.
What has been your relationship to it? Let's start there.
Yeah.
DJ the Autist.
Me? Okay, yeah. So I guess like ethnically I'm Jewish, so I grew up in like a Jewish family and everything.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
L'chaim, you know. But
Mazel.
yeah. So yeah, I grew up in a Jewish family. In that family, the only or the most truly religious person was my grandpa, who passed away about a decade ago now.
Oh.
But you know, he was there for my whole childhood and stuff, and he always went to synagogue. We called it shul, so I'm probably just gonna say shul for the sake of I don't know how I talk.
Now.
That's
It's
how
in
I
my
talk.
brain.
Yeah.
I'm with
You know,
it.
just going to shul. He would do that like all the time. And I grew up going to Hebrew school. After school twice a week, 2 hours each time, 4:15 to 6:15. I got all the details.
Yeah, you.
This
is ingrained in your.
Monday, Wednesday, 4:15 to 6:15. Hebrew
That's
school.
so fascinating. I don't remember a thing from my childhood.
Really?
I mean, like a grainy, shadowy little details.
Oh, I got the details. I always have the details for stuff
Fair
like
enough.
that. It's
Okay.
yeah. I feel like my formative years are really in there.
Whoa.
But
Wow.
yeah. Hebrew school was 5 years, so third grade through 7th. Because 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, that is 5 years, yes. And then that ended with me having a bar mitzvah when I was 13. I studied for like a year for that. I did really well. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough.
Recently
Not surprised.
we watched back the video.
Wait, when you
of-
say you studied well, what is that?
yeah, there's like you just have to memorize like a lot of Hebrew
Talmud.
stuff, like a long ass text.
Okay.
Every week basically there's a different haftarah, they call it.
Okay.
And the haftarah is like just some biblical story, I guess. I'm probably butchering some of the actual like religious meaning here, so to my fellow Jewish people in the comments, don't be too mad, please. I'm
Be
not
furious and let them know the right answer in the comments below.
Yeah, actually it helps with engagement, it helps with the algorithm, so please correct
Be
me in
as
the
mad
comments.
as you want to,
Yeah,
actually.
please be angry at me. No, but so yeah, anyway, every week at shul they would read the haftarah for the week, and then if there happens to be a person having a bar mitzvah that week, that person would read the haftarah for the week.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And they would also do other things like some of these things were optional. I was always an overachiever as a kid, so I went like way above and beyond, learned way more than I had to learn for my bar mitzvah. And
Wow.
like everybody was like super impressed. Like I don't know, I'm very
Aw.
very proud of myself, even
Yeah.
though like I mean I this is getting ahead of myself, but I haven't taken much of this into the modern day, but I'm still very proud of all the work I put in at the time. You know,
Yeah.
It was like, it was difficult. And it's a
Sounds
language
like
I
it.
still don't speak. So,
Wow.
you know, it's like, and I didn't speak it then either. This actually, one of big pet peeve with Hebrew school. I'm like going way out of order here, but, looking back, huge pet peeve. I'm a big language nerd, you know. I've always loved learning languages. And in Hebrew school, they did not teach us Hebrew. Which is like, so we would spend one of the 2 hours doing what's supposed to be like Hebrew lessons, like learning the language. And then one of the other the other hour would be for like religious study.
Yeah.
And that first hour of Hebrew learning was very ineffective. Like the first probably 2 years.
Like it was just a school that wasn't good at teaching? Or
Yeah, like we just, they didn't teach us much at all. Like the first probably 2 years we were learning how to read the Hebrew alphabet, which low key, like if you were taking like a college course in Hebrew, you would probably go over that in like the first week.
Yeah.
And then you'd be done and move on.
Yeah.
But I feel like they would spend like a week on one letter, you know?
Do you
like,
think that they just like they were underestimating your ability to learn?
Maybe the teachers were just underpaid. I don't know. Like, I mean, I think Hebrew school was low key a daycare where they had a curriculum, but it wasn't strict, you know?
Fair.
And so, yeah, like they taught us how to read Hebrew. And so I can still read Hebrew to this day, but like, I don't know what I'm saying, you know, like I don't know what any of it means.
Oh, interesting.
And then for like the last maybe 3 years of Hebrew school, they would teach us like vocab. Like we would have, a unit of like, here's 10 vocab words.
Oh, wow.
We would learn that, you know, that would be like our Hebrew lessons. So I still know like, you know, like how to say mouse in Hebrew. It's like akhbar.
That's
like,
so
we didn't learn like proper accents or anything either. So I'm definitely butchering it. I'm saying it fully Americanized.
Oh,
But
no.
it's fascinating that you could just read an entire Hebrew text and have no idea what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Our teachers were all like American too, and probably most of them didn't speak Hebrew either. So they knew how to read. They knew a little more than we did. Was where they were at. You know, they knew how to read it, and that was it.
It seems like everything that you've said. It's very interesting to me that it's so like not perfunctory. That's not the right word, but it's just like a regimented part of your life.
Yeah.
Rather than something that you seem to like really like internalize.
No, when I was a kid, the religious part of it to me didn't at all feel like a spiritual, like wholesome, fulfilling thing.
More intellectualized?
No, it was just more like the thing
life.
to do. It was like, I go to Hebrew school because
I relate to that.
You know, like it was like being Jewish was a fact of life, and therefore I go to Hebrew school. Not like I'm gonna like really take a lot out of this.
Whoa.
I will say though,
No, just whoa.
Yeah.
Just so different.
I will say, like,
experience.
I had a few rare glimpses of like spirituality in my like Jewish upbringing.
Interesting.
Where like, you know, so we would go to shul sometimes for like Friday night services or whatever. And like, you know, for Shabbat, for those who are aware, it's like the day of rest. So there would be Friday night and Saturday morning services. Saturday morning ones were like, in my eyes, always long and boring. Friday night ones were like shorter and more singy, and like they would have snacks after. So that was always fun.
You're like,
yeah. So I actually enjoyed Friday night services. I felt like they brought me closer to whatever there is out there. And then they would also always have a moment for like a silent prayer or like silent like reflection, I guess. That I always like, as I got a little older into Hebrew school, like maybe my last couple years in it, I always really enjoyed that because I would just really think about like connecting to God, you know. And I think I don't know if I believed deeply in the existence of a God ever in my life. I feel like it kind of made sense to me. It kind of didn't. And I feel like that's probably still where I'm at, low key. But I did like being able to just sort of like in my head communicate with something outside of the human realm. You know? So that was always nice. I liked that. But to me, religion always, like my religious experience was more so characterized by boredom than anything. Like it was more just like sitting through long hours of like things that I didn't enjoy.
It's also so interesting because this all lines up. I was kind of like adopted by the Chabad house at my college.
Yeah.
And
what is Chabad?
It's like a Jewish house that's on campus. That's usually by like a married couple that has like a rabbi, and they just like accept students into their home for like some learning, some dinners. Like it's like a community space.
Yeah.
And when we would do any of the learning, it was like extremely, like everything kind of felt like it had a
like an order, or
like you had a ritual. It felt ritualistic.
Yeah.
Right. So but when I was in like Sunday school, or when I would go to church, it would be very like, they go right into like, did you do something wrong this weekend? Give it to God. Like they would go to the psyche.
None of that. I had none of that. I had absolutely zero of that. Like,
so
and also
so
another thing too is like one thing that I've heard. There's like in at least my sect of Judaism that I grew up in, there was absolutely none of that. And there was also like no fear of hell or anything.
Whoa.
Wow, that's amazing.
Like
dude.
for me, here's like, I remember learning when I was older and I was just sort of like researching religions and stuff. Like I found out as a fun fact that Jews technically believe in hell.
Oh.
I was like technically according to the doctrine or whatever, like technically there is a hell, a form of hell in Judaism. And that was like a fun fact to me that I never knew about, because they just never talked about it. Like there was no like, you're going to hell if you are bad. Like none of that. I feel like in my experience, and there are different sects of Judaism, you know, different levels to it. So I'm just going to speak to the synagogue I went to my family, you know. But like it never felt like that. Judaism always felt like it was more about traditions and rituals, like you said, like because I think in addition to being a religion, it's also like got a big like ethnic component to it, where it's like I'm ethnically Jewish, you know, and so there's kind of like a long history of like my ancestors doing this, and this. So we do that because it's what we do.
Right.
Like I still celebrate Hanukkah with Ian. And it's funny, like Hanukkah isn't even a particularly religious Jewish holiday. It's like one of the least important ones. But I celebrate it because it meant something to me growing up, you know? I celebrate it with Ian still, and I'll still read the Hebrew. And like I feel something in that
it's a
ritual.
Connection.
Yeah. And it's not even like a religious thing at all to me anymore.
But it's like
just
a human
that
connection almost.
Yeah. I find value in it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I guess that's my experience with religion. It's very much like, to me, religion and tradition are like almost inseparable in my childhood. They're just the same thing. Nowadays, as far as my actual beliefs, like I don't know. I think I like to go with agnostic. Maybe slightly. On some days, I'm way more on the atheist side, and I'm like, yeah, there's definitely nothing out there. And then on other days, I'm like, okay, come on, there's got to be something out there. But yeah, no, I think I probably, on average, lean a little more to the atheist side of things. But there is a whole archetype of like the atheist Jew too, like because you never lose your like Jewishness. I feel like when you're
because it seems like it's ingrained, like you said, it's ingrained in every part of the tradition, the connection to your community. Yeah,
exactly. It's like I'll always be Jewish, even if I don't answer that Judaism is my religion on like a form or whatever, you know, like if you ask me what do you believe in, I wouldn't necessarily say like the Torah is my like go-to thing, but like you know, I'm still Jewish. That's not changing, you know. So I don't know, it's a really interesting one. I've sort of been I wouldn't say deconstructing, but I've been like understanding who I am a lot through that lens as I've gotten older.
And then you said that you related to that aspect?
Yeah.
Quick editor's note. So we had this really funny idea where at some point during the podcast, when me and the Vibe are talking, we would zoom in on the two of us while Risk goes off screen to put on a banana suit. And then when we zoom out, she's in a banana suit for the rest of the podcast, and we never say anything about it. Turns out we are three goofy individuals who cannot keep a straight face while one of us is putting on a banana suit. And we ultimately broke character when the Vibe was talking about the most depressing point in his life. Just wanted to clarify, the conversation we had is still completely legit. None of that is fake. We were trying our best to do a bit, and the bit didn't work, and we don't have any non-banana footage. So here you go.
I grew up going to Catholic schools. So my parents are immigrants from Ethiopia, so they're Orthodox Christian. So not necessarily Catholic, but in their minds, the best like path to go for their kids would be to put them into Catholic schools.
I see.
And so that's like where I've been educated. And then my parents being really Christian, like that's their coping mechanism. That's their view of the world. Yeah. It's not like that's how they find answers in life. So if they have a problem in their life, it's like they're going to pray about it.
Yeah.
They're not going to find the solution or the problem.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And from a young age, that like I think messed me up because it made it really hard to be objective and look at the world from a lens of what's real and what I can like engage with.
And what you have control of?
Yeah, because the answer was always just pray about it.
Yeah.
And usually that did nothing for me.
Sure.
Right? So I was like, okay, well, this doesn't work. Either way. This is what I related to.
Yeah.
It was just a part of my life. I didn't have like a deep, intimate relationship with it. It was just there. So we would go to church every Thursday.
Yeah.
At the Catholic school. And then maybe like once a month, we would go to like our Ethiopian church in DC. And they would also have similar classes for the kids there during that time.
Was it in English?
No, it was all in Amharic, which is
Cool.
The language that my family speaks from Ethiopia. And
very similar experience.
I didn't really learn anything there because I wasn't there consistently. But the idea that like religion was going to be the answer to all things was like so deeply hammered in from a cultural perspective, from an educational perspective, because that's how they taught at a Catholic school. Like everything is framed in that way. And it just like never really helped. And I had those experiences where like you feel connected to something higher.
You did?
And those would be like, those would reinforce.
Interesting.
Like maybe there's something here, or maybe like I can lean into this.
Right.
Like as time went on, and like my life actually was miserable, it was like, okay, well this shit isn't helping.
Wait, so like mental health started to play a part of
I always had like issues with mental health because the like circumstance that I grew up in was just bad.
Right.
And like toxic and unhealthy.
And then religious was not a helpful.
Yeah, it was just not really.
What did you turn to?
So for a long time I was just escaping through whatever means, and a lot of the times I was like, I would escape with anime a lot. I loved anime, and because that like felt like I was in a completely different world. I would distract myself with like video games or like movies, shows, and art. And so this generally all culminated to like when I was 19, I was ready to end my life. And instead of
That's the worst time to
so far.
And so I got to the point where at 19 years old, I kind of just decided I'm either going to end my life or everything is going to change. And that like decision to make everything change allowed me to kind of just like cut off any like belief system or conditioning that I had been like pre-programmed with. And I gave myself the permission to just say, okay, fuck all of that because I'm miserable.
Right.
So whatever I've experienced up until now is led me here and is making me feel this way. So I'm willing to start from absolutely nothing, from scratch, and figure it out. And from there, I spent a lot of years like really diving into like spirituality and religion and studying various ideas and philosophies from religions. And so I found a lot of what I conceive in like a spiritual sense to be closer to like what Buddhists might think.
Cool.
In terms of like ego being a really big factor in creating attachment and fear and desire, which leads to even more suffering. And even beyond that, I have experiences where I feel connected to something that's like my conception of God is a universal force underlying all things akin to love. So like it precedes all things, but it's not like a dude in the sky that I can pray to. And nor is it something that like I can probably engage with it from aspect of seeking clarity in how I engage with reality and like limiting distortion of reality, of how I perceive reality. But it doesn't necessarily help you with circumstantial difficulties in your life. And so that's kind of where I am, which is why I don't generally think in terms of God, but I like act in terms of God.
So then in terms of like when you reached that moment where you were like, I need to change, like this is the moment, right? Is that when you started going really hard into music?
Yeah, so great question. This is actually,
I remember you mentioning that in the first episode we did.
This is actually the start of the vibe.
Right.
So I was sitting there.
That's so cool.
Right? I was sitting there, ready to end my life, everything on the line, about to make the biggest decision of my life. I was 19 years old, and I was... I've practiced the story so much and I forget it. Okay.
You practiced this?
Yeah, you gotta fucking be able to just tell the story. Right?
Wow.
Huh.
I need to do something like that.
You gotta write your stories out, you know? So I was 19 years old, and at this point, like the loneliness I was experiencing in my life was excruciating. It was like actually unbearable.
Yeah.
Every day, I would go to the commons area of my college campus, grab a chair, drag it to the corner of the room, and sit down facing the wall.
Holy
like,
shit.
I think what I was looking for, I wanted somewhere I belonged, somewhere I felt okay, but I just never had that. So instead, I was just trying to disappear. And so this kind of became my great escape from reality, where every day I would distract myself with films and movies and art and music. And I would think to myself, there's no way this is life. I must already be dead.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You thought you were like in hell or something? Do you believe in hell? It's Catholic, right?
Yeah, I think hell. I don't know if there's like an actual experience of hell. I know there's a state of being akin to like degrees of hell. This goes into like ideas of death and soul and if there's anything left after. And I don't really care to get into that right now.
Sure.
Yeah. But just like a torture, you were like, this can't be reality.
Yeah. And so things went on until one day I just finished watching the last episode of my favorite anime.
Which is?
It's called Clanad After Story. It's a really sad anime about the death of a child. And so I remember the sound cutting off and the screen going black. And that was it. It was just over. And for a second, there were no sounds, no thoughts, no distractions at all. And then the strangest thing happened. Right? And I struggle to explain it till this day.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it was like everything around me went black. Right? Like I was transported into this empty void. And from out of nowhere, this like flash of light appears in front of me. And now, what happens next, like, I'll never forget. So, with a mind of its own, my hand raises, and it like grabs this flash of light and holds onto it. And I remember it was like this flash of light was asking me a question, right? It was like, and I didn't hear anything, but I could like feel it. I could feel a question. And just with no hesitation, I said yes. And I grabbed this light. And I held on to it for like 1 second, 2, 3, and then boom. I was back in that same corner looking at the same wall. And for a second, nothing happened. But then I started to feel it. And it was something that I had never felt before. Washing over me was this unbearable, overwhelming, fiery rage. And it was something I never felt. It was like in that moment, I understood every atrocity that man has committed. Because I was so mad that I could have just killed someone with my bare hands right there.
Whoa.
And then I thought to myself,
yeah,
fuck this.
Yeah.
Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck me. Fuck the world. Fuck every single thing that's ever existed. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm done. So I gave myself an ultimatum.
Yeah.
I'm either going to end my life today or everything changes for good.
For you.
Yeah.
For you. Yeah.
And so that day with my back against the wall, my life on the line, all alone, I chose change. I chose to believe, and I chose to live. And the vibe was born.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've lived for just one purpose, to make you feel alive.
Because you know what it feels like to not.
And
Who's you?
Like other people.
Everyone.
Yeah. And I spent the next 7 years becoming the man who could do that.
Yeah.
Here he is.
That is the most powerful anti-suicide thing. The concept of my two options are I kill myself or I change my life. And I can always attempt one, and if that doesn't work, I'll go back to the second. That's kept me from doing it a lot of times where it's like, maybe I'll just do it tomorrow. And then that keeps happening. You know, like you keep finding something to try.
There's always something. There's always something that you can do. That
like the absurdist philosophy, like this guy named Albert Camus.
Yeah.
Camus.
Big Camus fan in this place.
A big idea there is like, the meaning of your life is the thing that keeps you from killing yourself.
Yeah.
So like the only reason you don't end your life right now is for whatever thing, and that's the meaning of your life. Right. And for me, that's creating.
Yeah. That's really cool. That is really cool.
Big breath.
The thing, that is.
I mean, how do you explain what happened? What was the light asking?
Yeah,
you?
I'm also really curious about this light. Like, did this feel like a physical thing, or like were you like
hallucinating?
Yeah, I
mean,
struggle to imagine this.
Yeah, no,
cognitively,
it was probably more akin to a hallucination, but like experientially, it was like, oh, this is really happening.
Almost like you had like a waking dream.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow. That's cool. That seems really powerful.
What did the light ask you?
I don't know.
But it was a question that
it was
you
a
knew.
question I could feel, and instantly I was like, yes. Yes.
And then the rage came.
Yeah, which is great because I'd never been a mad person. I'd always been a sad kid.
Did the rage wake you up?
The rage is special. right? I learned so much from this because I'd always been like a depressed kid, not a mad kid.
Yeah.
And so I never really understood like the power of rage. It's so powerful. Like being angry is what can lead to change, like real change.
Yeah.
Right?
And one thing about religion is they like weed that out of you.
Rage,
anger, and a lot of like you are shamed for having that hot of an emotion, because you can't control it because whatever, right?
Yeah.
But that's like it's like the best catalyst for change in all of our life. Because like when you're fed up, that's when you're like, oh no,
absolutely,
right?
True.
It's hard for me to do things if I'm not desperately fed up. Unfortunately,
like, I'm done with this.
That's a good point. I mean, I guess like to push back a little bit on the rage thing. I feel like you also want to be able to find, like, ideally you find a reason to do something that's not based in like anger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's not a fun feeling to have.
No.
Definitely.
You know,
but that's like the idealist situation.
But it's like a wake-up call.
Where like
anger's effective.
Right. I wouldn't be in if I didn't need anger, I probably wouldn't be in that situation to begin with, is what I'm saying.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't have felt angry or anything like that, but I'm just thinking like using anger in general as a way to do anything.
Yeah,
I feel
that gets dark.
That's
it's a good call out.
That's no
but
fun.
For those who were either not allowed to feel rage or just had never allowed themselves to feel rage, it's like a wake-up call of like, oh wait, there's a different way to approach this, and then maybe from there you start to reach baseline with the way that you approach things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's my experience with spirituality up until this point. Generally, I see God as everything.
A few things you said stuck out to me and made me remember something, and I can't remember. I had a really nice segue in my head from something you said that like.
No, you can't remember. Now you know how it feels.
I can't remember what it was, but you know, I've never felt strongly about really anything in Judaism or about like, you know, whether there's a God or not. I'm very ambivalent towards that sort of thing, and like the whole spirituality thing is like intriguing to me, but not. It doesn't keep me up at night. But like what I do to this day that feels like more of a religion, in the way that most people define religion, which is like, you know, you must do this, is veganism. Like that feels very much like a religion to me in the more traditional religion sense. And I think that is part of the reason that I particularly don't relate to most mainstream religions, because they don't have that as part of it.
It's like a practice for you.
It's a practice, and it's like a core tenet of what I believe about the world we live in, you know. And like I think it might have been when you said Buddhism, because because I relate a lot to a lot of Buddhist teachings. They are often vegan or vegetarian, and like, you know, that's like probably the most important thing that I feel so deeply in my soul, is that like, you know, all animals are equal and like, you know, deserve similar moral consideration, you know. Including humans. I include humans in the world of animals, you know.
Distinction.
And so yeah, I think whenever I hear things like, you know, reason, like when people talk online in comment sections or whatever, or even in podcasts or anything about like why they're religious about a certain for a certain religion, and they bring up all the things that it stands for and the morality of it, I find that it's almost always lacking a respect for animals.
Well, a lot of religions will have like animal sacrifice. And
right, yeah.
Well, you could say that that's a respect for animals, because you're putting them almost on a pedestal of something to offer.
That's fair.
It's like a strange way of putting it.
I would struggle with justifying a sacrifice
it's
as
a strange
respect.
dissonance between respect for life and then a killing of life.
Yeah. Sure.
So you do veganism because of the animal rights?
Yeah, that's 100% the reason. Like, I mean, you know, and then once you go vegan, you find all the other good things about it. Like, oh, it's actually pretty good for your health, and like, oh, whatever, you know. But like, I wouldn't, if it wasn't for the animal thing, I wouldn't be vegan. Like, that's the number one reason, you know. And yeah, so like Buddhism calls to me, and like Jainism is really interesting to me, because that also has it's like it's an Indian or maybe just South Asian in general, I'm not sure, but like I think it's mostly an Indian religion, where it's like basically about respect for all life, and like they even don't eat root vegetables, because from what I understand, it's like it disrupts the ecosystem under the ground when you pull them up.
So what do they eat?
And they
like plants, you know, other plants, like other vegetables are fine, and you know, I mean, it's basically a vegan diet. And apparently, I think I think some Jain people will like still drink milk or like have dairy and stuff. Like
Gotcha.
it's not 1-to-1 with veganism, but it's like pretty damn close.
It's just like about harm and they'll
yeah,
even have
exactly.
Respect for life.
They'll have
Yeah.
masks that make it hard to ingest bugs.
Oh, interesting. I
And
never
they'll
heard
like
about that.
sweep the. It's just the like very very religious people. They'll sweep the ground in front of them so that they don't step on a bug accidentally. Like
See,
it's like it extends
Wow.
into a lot of life.
I love that because like I also don't kill bugs like for the same reason that I'm vegan. You know, like it's all the same thing to me. And so yeah, for me, if a religion like an organized religion or whatever, if it doesn't have some core tenet of like respect for animals, I just can't be 100%. I can't be all in.
You're like
you know?
hypocrite.
Yeah, yeah. So
There's a
that's-
lot of hypocrisy in organized religion.
There is. I mean, I'm sure the ones I've named that I look up to also have some hypocrisy in them. And I don't know. I haven't delved into them enough to know. But
Indeed.
apparently delve is an AI word. I'm not AI.
Delve?
I heard.
Delve
I heard
is
that.
an AI word.
I heard apparently AI like uses
DG
the
the
word
AI.
delve a lot, and
let's,
I just
let's
used
delve
it.
right into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I promise I'm not
Put
AI.
my hand through you. You're a hologram.
But yeah, yeah.
I also get absolutely a lot from like confirmations on AI. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
What a smart question.
Yeah.
You're like,
But yeah, no. Anyway, I think that's a huge key thing for me, and like I would consider the closest thing I have to a proper religion to be veganism. Like,
it makes sense.
Yeah, and also even because there are some aspects of it where it kind of has become more religious to me, where it's not even 100% like internally consistent. Like if you found out, let's say that there is some animal that humans regularly eat that actually can't feel pain and actually doesn't have a consciousness, I still wouldn't eat that animal.
Why?
I don't know.
Would you
It
have
just feels
lab-grown
wrong.
meat?
I feel weird about it. I've had some like
Have what?
lab-grown meat.
Oh,
Would
I don't
you have
feel any.
lab-grown meat?
I just don't think that would be healthy.
Yeah, I just don't really need it in my life. I don't have much of a moral opposition to it. But yeah, no, like, I just feel like a strong, like, there's kind of that's kind of where it does become religious in the sense of like thou shalt do this and not do this, you know, like like even if we find a way to make meat in a super duper humane way where we're not even killing an animal, I don't know, like, or
So
I don't know, but
would
like
you
I
say
still
you're-
wouldn't eat meat.
Would you
You
say
know,
your like
so-
core, I guess, religious or spiritual philosophy is that all life is equal and should be treated as such?
I want to clarify not all life because plants are life, fungi are life, bacteria are life. But I would say like anything conscious, like anything that has the capacity to feel pain or to feel joy.
Yeah.
Which we as humans have sort of collectively decided is animals and not other life.
Yeah.
Who knows if that's really true, but that's what makes the most sense in my mind. Like I can see the life in a cat. I can't see the life in a plant.
Oh,
you know?
well, the thing that's so inconsistent are for the meat eaters who are like, oh, I'd never eat dog, but that cow that acts like a puppy in a
Let me tell you
field?
something. I'm getting into the hot takes here, but
Here we go.
But during the 2024 presidential election cycle,
The best one yet.
when they were talking about eating the dogs and eating the cats and treating that as if it's a terrible thing.
Eating the cats, eating the dog.
Like, I was like, this is the first time that in mainstream politics anyone has stood up for animals in any way. And I was like, holy shit. Like, they're low key, like they're making a vegan take here. I'm not saying that the eating the cats and eating the dogs things was true. As far as I understand, that was not true.
We're not commenting on that. Yeah. Just the concept.
But the fact that people found it to be abhorrent,
right?
That anybody would eat cats and dogs.
Yeah.
That gives me a little hope that humanity can has something, like that people in general have the same thing in them that I have in me, where it's like we have to respect animals, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just that we've been raised in a society that respects cats and dogs, doesn't respect cows and pigs.
Yeah.
You know, and there's cognitive dissonance, or there's like, you know, just it's how you're raised, you're used to it, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's hard to change. Like,
Right.
I get that, but yeah, and it was easy for me because I was raised vegetarian too. So I never had to like confront that in me. I had to confront the like eating eggs and eating dairy, but that's much easier when you've already done most of the work of like not eating meat, you know.
Wait, so yeah, why? Just because there's so much abuse that happens at large with milk and eggs?
Yeah, I mean the reason that I went vegan instead of just staying vegetarian was like I realized that the factory farm industry and all of that stuff that is the main reason that I don't eat animals is also where we get our dairy and eggs from.
Yeah.
You know, and also in you know, even if it's not directly from a factory farm or whatever, there's likely some level of abuse going on, or just some like using animals as a product, which just feels wrong to me. You know, and when I'm saying, I want to be really clear that when I'm saying all this, like I'm not trying to be that guy. You know,
right.
I'm talking about where I'm coming from.
Meals with you where you don't comment on what we're eating or anything. It's very much like a personal belief.
I'm not vegan, so I can say this. If you're not vegan, you're a horrible person. You don't care about life. Get it together. What are you doing?
I know that's right.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Where my degenerates at?
It is, I try to be really cognizant of like, you know, everybody's on their own path to being as good of a person as they can be. You know, like we're all just trying to be good people. I really believe that, you know, and
some
like
people aren't, but sure.
Maybe there are some people out there who are trying to be bad people. There are probably some.
That's a lot actually who just wants
stuff.
There's some bad people probably, but I really think like if you've listened this far into the podcast, you're probably one of the people who's trying to be a good person.
Right.
You know, you're hearing us out. You're hearing out what we have to say about stuff, and like. Yeah, I feel like it's not my place to tell somebody what they should or shouldn't do, but I'll gladly talk about it if you bring it up.
You make a convincing argument.
Thank you.
You really do.
I try.
I don't know what is keeping me from going vegan. I think it's I have a lot of dietary problems, so I often need like quick access to food.
Yeah.
And finding a vegan place is hard.
That can be hard. Yeah.
Love cheese and dairy.
That I'm very lucky in that even when I was vegetarian, I never liked cheese.
Oh wow!
So that was easy for me to cut out.
Yeah.
I basically never ate it anyway.
Cheese is kind of funny, isn't it?
Funny?
Yeah, cheese is kind of, it's like melted.
It's
rubbery.
Like it makes no sense.
It's so weird
to like it, but
it's
our brain is like.
It's like
I get cream and milk. Cheese is kind of.
I mean, even milk, low key.
Oh yeah,
kind of like
milk as an ingredient, not just as a whole.
Yeah.
But no, like in general, like it's a weird thing to eat.
Yeah.
You know, like who was the first person who went up to a cow and was like,
ass.
"All right, I'll."
Well, I think it was more so
let
like
me squeeze
babies.
on this thing.
It was more so like
okay,
babies.
yeah, I guess that's fair.
And then it was like, and then maybe like 19 or not 18. I don't know.
I'm sure we had milk before 1800.
Yeah, they industrialized it. Yeah, probably. Well, like when it became industrial.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, I mean, it's weird. It's weird. Eating in general is weird.
Yeah.
That we have to do that to survive. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess.
Love food.
Yeah.
And I love cooking. Like I love exploring cuisine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's so much as well with like. I try not to be I often find myself thinking very black or white, where I'm like, if I'm not vegan, then I have to be, you know, and I have to like really challenge myself to be like, you could make small changes in your life.
Yes, that's actually something that I've really been on since meeting Hian, actually. My fiance. Maybe by the time you're watching this, my wife Hian. Hold on.
He's wiped the fuck up.
DG the husband.
But yeah, no, since like, cause let me tell you actually, like growing up when I was, you know, I grew up vegetarian and I was very disgusted by meat. Like couldn't even look at it as a kid. And like I always felt like I would never be able to date somebody who wasn't vegetarian. And like that was just so like how like I felt so strongly about it, you know? Yeah. And I met Hian. She was not vegetarian. And I was like, she's really great though, you know, and just like fell in love as you do.
Sure.
And I think what it really was that I learned over time is not that I wouldn't be able to date somebody who's not vegetarian. I probably wouldn't be able to date somebody who doesn't agree with the same morality of vegetarianism or veganism.
Yeah.
If you're the type of person who thinks that like you know, it's good to kill animals for food, I think we would just have far too many like innate disagreements to get along in a relationship. As friends, sure, whatever, but like as like a life partner, it just probably wouldn't work.
Right. Well, now she's vegan, right?
She's working on it, and that's the thing. That's just it. She's pretty much flexitarian, I would say. Like she's probably 80-85% vegan. At home, we're pretty much all vegan,
which is huge.
Yeah,
that's a huge amount.
It's a huge step up, and like, you know, she really she agrees with it. She like in some ways I find her more vegan than me. Like she reviews vegan restaurants on Google Maps and stuff.
Oh,
and like,
yeah.
you know, like she's really involved in like the community for it too.
Yeah.
And like making vegan food like more accessible when possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she's not fully vegan because she was not raised in a culture that like does that much. And so yeah, like I really learned through her that for some people it can be a really hard change to go 100%, but like just making the effort is still so valuable and like really making a difference still, you know, and working towards that cause, and we all do it in our own little ways.
I often
so
think
it's not black and white. Like if you relate to the shit that I've said about how I feel about animals and stuff, like if you want to retweet any of that, whatever, like, you know, then just like skip meat today. Like you're good.
Yeah,
you know, that's
little changes.
Great. Yeah, go for it.
I often think that if we as a society had more of a hands-on understanding of what it takes to actually have like a steak or like a chicken, like if we were still in the time of like butchering things ourselves, then I think that mindfulness actually in a lot of religions is very spiritual. Or even if you're talking about like indigenous cultures, like they have such a respect for the animal for giving them nourishment, that there's gratitude, there's symbiosis.
Real. Yeah,
and that's honestly,
something
that's probably where I'd be going with it in the future. I definitely don't want to be engaging with like industrial.
Yeah,
like if
that's rough. Yeah.
I'd love to like have some sort of a small farm.
Yeah,
where if I am eating meat, it's like I can like, in respect to life,
you're being mindful of it.
Yeah. That's something. So like I'm so on board with that. Like Ian's parents, for example, are, you know, very big meat eaters, but like they grew up in Vietnam, like having to kill their own meat, you know, like that, and they still do sometimes. Like, you know, they are aware of what it means to take a life, so they don't take it lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
but we just go to the frozen aisle.
You go to the store and you see,
a plastic.
Yeah.
Blue and white container, and you're like, okay. I don't have to think about it.
It takes the reality out of the situation, I guess.
Yeah,
so
it makes it more palatable.
Then is agnostic, vegan, Buddhist.
Hey!
Yeah. I mean, I'm low key like joining the Buddhist side a little bit too.
We got him.
I would love, like, it's been a dream of mine for a while to like just go to a mountain in Vietnam and hang out in a pagoda for a few months.
Yeah.
Just like chill, eat vegan food, talk to the Buddhists, like, you
become
know,
a little bit more mindful.
Yeah.
Present.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I don't think I agree with all of the tenets of Buddhism, but it's like
there's a lot.
I feel like I could learn a lot from it still, even if I'm not 100% on board. So,
hugely.
Yeah.
Guys,
so that's religion.
Loved this chat.
This was dope as hell. Like, let us know in the comments if you enjoyed this kind of content.
Yeah.
This had nothing to do with music.
No, but if you like us yapping about different topics, then we could yap.
And if you want a vegan song from D.
Yo, the other day I wrote this song actually. I like finally wrote my vegan anthem.
Oh yeah?
I actually did, yeah.
Ooh,
and like I'm really scared to release it.
Why?
I'm actually really scared. Yeah.
Wait, why? Because you've talked before about
like literally
never
last
scared.
I don't get scared.
I'm really scared
what
to
has
release
changed?
this.
Because it's so personal, or
it's so the first verse is the opposite of how I am in life. I am an angry vegan in the first verse. Like I'm shaming. And then the second verse is more like me coming back and saying like, okay, I got it off my chest. Let me tell you how I really feel about this shit. Like, you know, but like I wrote it because I need to get it off my chest sometimes. Like I wrote it for myself.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll release this song,
Fair.
but it was so powerful for me to write. So
yes!
if you want me to release my angry vegan song,
how many likes?
Give us a solid 50. And I'll commit to like, I will do it. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Hook Podcast. I've been DG the Artist.
Happy Halloween.
It's the vibe.
It's the vibe.
Banana time.
It's Risk. It's DG.
Bye.
And cut. And cut. And.
Honestly, if you listen to our music individually, you wouldn't immediately be like, yes, those three together. You see the popular girl, DG. You see the...
There's a new Bruce.
There's
a new Bruce
Springsteen record coming out.
Bruce Springsteen.